4. Not quite 3/4 of the way through. We are playing D&D for the next hour and the 2 hours after that. So, if you enjoy what you see, do stick around. You can easily go and refresh your tickets. So, here's what's going to happen. I'm Chris. I'll be your DM for the next hour, and we will be playing the next hour of an ongoing D&D adventure. So you are coming in literally nearly 3/4 of the way through, which means that you may get a little lost. That's totally fair. We are halfway, 3/4 of the way through a story. Keen to keep doing that. If at any point during the show you feel like, can I ask a question? I'm not sure what's going on. Please feel free to shout out from the audience. We have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience for the benefit of anyone who'd have difficulty being still and silent for the hour, which also benefits you, which means you can ask questions. This is all very helpful. Let's actually test you, see if you can do our Panto audience response. Let's have an ooh from the audience. Yay! Good. It's only 11:30 in the morning. You guys can handle this. Great. Lovely. So, in tune with that relaxed attitude to sound and movement, the lighting will stay exactly the same. And if for any reason you need to head out during the hour, pop through either of those 2 doors into the foyer space just outside. There are sweet company members out there. They have red and black t-shirts with the sweet logo across the front. Ask them for assistance. They'll happily help you. You will need one of them to get back into the room as the door is on a key fob system. If you need assistance in the room, our stage manager Nemo is back there. Wave. Lovely. That's Nemo. Nemo's over there for your help. Give them a wave, catch their eye, and they will happily assist you in the room if you so require. We don't have Isla with us as our BSL interpreter this hour. We do for the first hour, if you fancy seeing some BSL interpreted live improvised D&D. But Isla is now joining us at the table to play and possibly die in our lovely D&D game. You didn't die last time.
Close.
Yeah, I died. Last year, we played a game where just the 2 of us were at the table because of people being ill, and I died to save Isla's life. So,
Very emotional.
Very emotional. And gave you those dice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, history. History is good. Anyway, we're playing a game of D&D. Does everyone here know what that means? No. 2 nods from 3 nods and a yes from the audience. Excellent.
Sorry, what's D&D, Chris?
There we go. Just to make sure everyone's on the same page. The 4 people to my left and right play characters in a shared fantasy universe, and I play the shared fantasy universe. So I'll be playing everything they encounter throughout the game as the game's master. To make sure I don't abuse that awesome level of power, we use 20-sided dice, like this one. A 1 is terrible, a 20 is brilliant. Feel free to boo and or cheer, depending on how you feel about the particular character at that point in time. And they also have character sheets in front of them with numbers they will add to that 20-sided dice roll to achieve things better or worse, depending on what their character does. Speaking of their characters, why don't we go around the table introducing ourselves and what our characters are. So, please give your name, what pronouns you prefer, your character's name, what pronouns they use, and also tell us about what they look like and where they're at in terms of their character in the story so everyone can fill in as they go along. For example, my name is Chris and I use he, him pronouns.
So I'm Isla. She, her pronouns, and so my character uses the same. Kimmy. She is a halfling monk. But she became a monk really just for the simple life. All she wanted to do was calligraphy. You know the big letters at the start of like a Bible chapter? That's Kimmy's speciality. But she's just, small, simple clothing, maybe a pen behind the ear at all times, ready to go.
But often seems to get drawn into combat because, hey, it's a D&D game.
Didn't really want this, but here we go.
Barksby, far away.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I use he, him, and so does my character, Barksby. Furbolg Druid, so Furbolg is a bovine, giant, humanoid person, and Druid being nature magic, so he's got lots of moss, creepy fungus, and vines, lots of vines. He is currently bark-skinned, in the literal sense, rooted in the ground, and got a firm grip on reality. At the moment, that might change in the next hour.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Alex.
I'm Alex, and I play Alted Delandor. We are both he, him. Alted Delandor is a elf, wood elf, haughty, snooty. He is part paladin, part warlock. He has lost his connection with his goddess, but he has gained an extra connection with something not particularly pleasant. No one else knows that.
It's true. We have a spy in our midst.
He is pretty, kind of tall for an elf, and he kind of glimmers with a kind of gold, silvery moonlight.
Cool. I'm Emma. I'm she, her, as is my character, Ezzy. Ezzy is a Yuan-Ti, which means she's essentially half snake. She has black hair with an undercut, but where the undercut would be is purple scales, and that runs all the way down the left side of her body. They found her in a cage 2 hours ago, and no one's entirely sure what side she's on, including her.
Well, she's wearing cultist robes, so, you know, we can...
cultist robes. And nobody's asked any questions about that yet, so...
Their prerogative. Yeah, their prerogative. Lovely. So, let's have the music back, and then I will catch you up on where we are. We have background music, but no loud noises, apart from talking through the mics, just so you're aware. And screaming from Anna.
If I start to lean back, maybe just take your headphones out if you're on the Twitch.
Splendid. We come in mid-combat. The armies of a rebellion are fighting their way to the final stronghold of a cult of an ancient evil elder god. Evil ancient? Well, and they are making their way up a hill in the centre of this island, at the top of which is a ziggurat with a large door in front of it that can just be seen just over the brow of this horizon point. The armies of the rebellion are fighting back against a combined gigantic army of very strange creatures that are collectively known as Gru. They have black spiky fur that grows out of their skin and very long sharp talons. They appear to come in various sizes, and we have discovered over the course of this adventure are the corrupted creatures of this plane of existence, corrupted by a special magical ore that this cult have been asking the enslaved to mine for them. However, the enslaved and the uprising of them into the rebellion has led them to this very point, and they are now at the very final stage of pushing this cult back from their plane of existence. So, at this very point, Barksby, in a guardian of nature form, is currently in a tree-like form, grabbing one of these creatures a bit larger called a mangle around the throat, holding it close. Arted was surrounded by a group of smaller creatures, smaller Gru about the size of dogs, that are now running away, but a very, very large one, about the size of 4 people on top of each other, called the Hulk, is stalking towards him. Ezzy is flying 10 feet in the air, a storm sorcerer using her ability to stay out of harm's way while this unfolds. Kimmy, you are with the approaching rest of the rebellion as they make the beachhead and are ploughing their way forward into this island. What would you like to do before you enter the initiative order?
Just have a wee look around.
Have we look around?
Assess the situation.
Roll a perception check for me, please. It's a 20-sided dice plus a perception modifier. 20. As you enter this plaza space in front of you, you can see underneath are bones of various humanoid creatures slowly being crushed underfoot, as most of the cultist army is currently running away up the hill towards this gigantic door you can just about see over the middle of the hill. As they run their way up this hill, you can see some of your allies. One you don't recognise. One wearing cultist robes appears to be fighting the Gru as well, which is news to you. You are surrounded by allies yourself, and none of them are the major NPCs we mentioned before this campaign. It's mostly player characters who aren't here. So you are pushing your way up this hill, seeing this battle unfold in front of you. Harvey, the Aarakocra third-person cleric, is also flying through the air at the moment. It appears to be concentrating on a spell. What would you like to do?
So they're all running away.
Not all. The gigantic Hulk creature is stepping towards Arted with murderous intent. It's about the size of a small giant. And one of these mangles is being held by this tree-like version of Barksby, and another appears to be scampering around these two, trying to find a way in.
Can I jump on?
You can certainly... What is your speed, monk? Monks are very fast. 40 feet around. You can easily run up towards the Hulk and start running up its leg. I have no issue with that whatsoever. It has various growths and contusions coming out of it, so you can easily grab hold if you so choose to. Yeah. Would you like to make an attack? Would you like to attack it as well while you're there?
Yes, please.
Okay, dive in.
There we go. Quarterstaff.
Your quarterstaff comes flying out towards its kneecap.
9.
9. Your quarterstaff bounces off its kneecap.
Oh dear. We'll try again.
Okay.
That's even worse.
Your second quarterstaff strike, as you try and hit this creature in any soft fleshy part, just bounces off these contusions of bone that seems to cover it. You are not managing to break through.
I punch it in frustration.
You punch it. Make an attack roll with punching in frustration, monk.
Come on. That is much better. 17 plus
17. Your tiny halfling fist manages to get the back of the knee and manages to get through all of these armoured plates and just reaches inside and twists, hitting a pressure point. Roll the damage on that strike for me, please. plus something, surely.
I don't know what it's plus.
It's your dexterity modifier.
Oh, 2 plus 4 then.
So 6 points of damage. You dig deep into its knee and the leg buckles slightly. Monk, you have a bonus action.
Okay.
You could use a key point to hit it one more time with your fist. You could use a key point to block, make sure you are very well defended. You could use a key point to run even further. You could use a key point to try and stun it. 1,000 things you can do as a monk with bonus actions.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and do that stun strike.
Okay.
With that last
That last one then counts as a stunning strike. That is fine.
Constitution.
The Constitution saving throw from it. It rolled a 7.
Haha!
The Hulk, as you hit it in the pressure point at the back of the knee, twitches slightly and appears to be locked in place, unable to move. Well done. Huzzah!
Yes.
There's the audience. Huzzah! The Panto crowd go in for the game. Excellent. Lovely. Buxby, you just had your turn. Putting Kimmy there. Excellent. Arto, what would you like to do? There's a mangler on you,
On me, okay. Well,
and the Hulk was going towards you, but is now stunned.
Yeah, I will deal with the one that is on me that has like 6 claws.
Yeah, it does.
So I will. I'm at disadvantage still, aren't I?
You technically have disadvantage on your first strike because of the smaller Gru that attacked you last
First
game. Yes.
strike. Okay. I will use my bonus action to cast Branding Smite.
Branding Smite. Your Warhammer glows with fiery energy?
Well, it's radiant.
Radiant.
So it sort of drips.
Twisted, dripping,
Moonlight.
negative radiant energy.
Yes.
Nega energy.
Yeah.
Well, like radiation. There's sort of there's a radiation quality to it.
And it kind of like an ectoplasmic.
Yeah, lovely. Lovely.
And then I will hit it with my.
Roll an attack with disadvantage, please, your first one.
Is plus 10.
10. Your Warhammer wetly bounces off its heavy hide.
I hit it again.
Sure.
Not with disadvantage.
Yeah.
25.
25. Yup. Your Warhammer smashed the first time, bouncing off. You re-intensify your strike, and the ectoplasmic energy is pouring into it as you hit it very, very hard with your hammer.
13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yup.
Followed by a further 11 points of radiant damage.
It is knocked back. It is knocked back with an almighty swing of your Warhammer. At this point, the Gru around you are just pegging it. This Mangler looking at you with some consternation. It does have a face, it does have expressions. The all-too-wide jaw looking like it is somewhat perturbed by the situation unfolding in front of it.
And I'm going to Divine Smite it.
You're going to add to the damage, okay? Technically, you do that on your attack, but I'll allow it this
You
time.
started talking.
Yeah, all right.
15 points
Oh my God.
of extra radiant damage.
It's definitely looking like it's really, really unhappy. One would say it was bloodied. Ah, there we go. Lovely. D&D rules maintained. Good. Right. The Mangler that is you just smacked around the face turns and pegs it. It is very fast. It will run about 40 feet this turn, but you do get attack opportunity as it starts pegging it away from you.
I will say, run home to mommy! And I will use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke.
Only if it hits you. Hellish Rebuke is if an attack gets through. Hasn't attacked you. Yes.
It says it's a creature that has damaged you, which it has. But okay.
Well, the intention is when it hits you. And you know
okay.
what? Rules lawyering this isn't for. Go on.
What am I rolling? Am I doing
Nothing. If you want to attack, roll attack it.
Okay, I will.
Jesus.
22.
Yeah, you hit it as it goes. You can Divine Smite while you're doing this. Decide to do it before you roll the damage. Okay, you can decide to add it now if you want to.
No.
Okay.
I will just do 11 points.
Just
of
11.
Bludgeoning.
Just 11 points of bludgeoning damage. As you smack it, it falls over. One of its legs crushed. It is still crawling away from you, but that is all it is doing.
Do I get the extra D6?
No, it's only one. D6 of what?
For the branding smite.
No, it's only once. It is cast and then unleashed in one go.
Okay.
So, it is still running away. I say running, it is crawling away, desperately trying to make its way. The one that is currently attached to you, it has not regained its ability to Flurry of Claws, and it is looking at you with some consternation, holding it close in your bark form, and is going to try and hit you with 2 of its claws. Plus 7 to hit. What's your current AC?
14.
14. Do you have anything with Barkskin of disadvantage on attacks and that sort of thing?
Here is question.
So I think your Guardian Nature does more than just make you look more like a tree.
It gives me 10 extra hit points, gives me advantage on Constitution saving throws, and advantage on Dex and Wisdom-based attacks, and while I'm on the ground, 15 feet around me is difficult terrain.
So it still gets to attack you normally?
Yes.
Cool. 14, so it's still a roll of dice. Oh my god!
Double one.
Yes!
Double ones! I rolled 2 natural ones. Not my day. The creature flails ineffectually at your bark-like skin, unsure of what to do or how to deal with this situation. It is still grappled by you and held close, but at this point, it can't move and it can't seem to attack you, and is looking very, very, very scared. In the meantime, the Hulk, as Harvey tries to fly away back down towards the beachhead to get some distance, because he's not playing in this hour, is going to make one final attack on him to try and break his concentration on the spellcaster he banished. Apologies, that happened last hour. I want it to end. So, Harvey's armor class is 13. No, it isn't. It's got a shield. It's got a shield. 15 still hits. One big, massive fist reaches out and smacks him out of the air. He takes 2d8. I'm not going to kill him. I just want to break concentration. He takes 12 points of bludgeoning damage, and go on, you roll it.
10.
10.
No.
There we go. So, as Harvey is whacked out of the air and rolls back into the line of approaching rebels and out of this game, the Seer, another strange Gru creature that appears to have a staff and appear to be some kind of spellcaster or smarter version of this creature, reappears having been banished and snarls uncontrollably. Ezzy, it's your turn. What would you like to do? Pause for effect is an option.
No. I clock that this
Seer's returned.
is back.
Yep.
And I'm gonna cast a cloud of daggers where it is.
Okay.
They appear where it is, a cube 5 foot of. I mean,
Daggers.
they kind of they look like snakes, but they are daggers.
Sure, a cloud of daggers, which looks thematically like snakes, because
Yeah.
our Yuan-Ti sorcerer is a snake person.
Yeah.
Cloud of fangs.
Cloud of fangs, nice.
It takes damage when it when it starts its turn in the cube.
Okay, no problem. There's currently a cloud of daggers of adders? Daggery things around it, and it will deal with that on its turn. Which is now, unless you have a bonus action, you might. You're currently 10 feet up in the air.
I'd like to just move further
Away from the seer.
Yes.
You are backing up away from it as you cast this cloud of daggers on it. You can maintain concentration on the spell for a minute, and that is absolutely fine. It is now the seer's turn. Realizing as the air around it starts to fill with these creatures that it doesn't want to be there, it is going to use...
Wait, does it get to do that before? Because it's when it starts its turn.
When the seer would be hit by an attack. Yep, would be hit by an attack.
Yay.
This area has a strange non-Euclidean property that has been noted before by the dungeons underneath being multi-dimensional, and this creature appears to have some control over Euclidean space as well, as it appears suddenly to not be where it is and swaps places with the Hulk next to it, the Hulk taking the cloud of daggers damage. Please roll your 44.
Yeah.
You also are moved with it.
Okay.
You it's almost as if you don't. It's almost as if the ground and air around you. The Hulk doesn't move. The world around you changes.
I'm so sorry. You both take 12 damage.
Take 12 points of slashing damage.
I don't like you.
What, the snake person wearing cultist robes?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was prepared to, see what your story was, but
I shout in halfling. Sorry.
I'm just gonna go.
she speaks halfling. Lovely. Having reappeared now, having the world having shifted around it, the seer looks at you again, Ezzy, and with a burning frustration at you, consistently trying to hurt it, it is going to reach out, and again, non-Euclidean space seems to collapse around you. Please make a wisdom saving throw. Arted is still close to you, but you
That's
flew 10
fine.
feet up in the air. 30 feet range? Oh, you're level 9. No, you're not.
Here we are, level 9.
No, but he's multi-classed.
Oh.
Rules! Rules, the exciting part of D&D.
Look at this crowd, they love rules.
I don't think it's fair to make snap judgments about people just by looking at
Oh
them.
no, it's the smiles on their faces.
There's no snap
Yeah,
judgments here.
or
Just
protection.
acceptance.
30 feet. It is 30 feet
Oh,
immediately.
no, it's 10 feet.
It's 10 feet, exactly, and you flew, and you said you flew away.
Yeah.
So you do not get the bonus to your saving throw this time.
18.
18, it's a DC 19 wisdom saving throw.
Come on.
You are teleported up to 60 feet into an unoccupied space the seer can see. Ooh. I think it's going to be straight up.
Yeah.
You are teleported straight up into the air 60 feet as the world seems to move around you. This horrible teleportation effect dragging you through it. You take... God, I love this.
I hate it. It's never good.
You take
Oh boy.
42.
I'm unconscious.
42 points of psychic damage as you are torn up into space and unconscious flop into the air above and are now slowly falling out of the sky.
The cloud of dragons disappears.
And then disappears around the Hulk, so no longer affects people. The seer, also seeing the situation around it, leaves the Hulk and starts to make its way back towards the door. As it does, it turns around to all of you, spitting out, "You'll never stop us!" and then continues up towards the higher vantage point of the ziggurat with the door. Barksby, you are holding a mangler in front of you, and you also can't move, tree person. What would you like to do?
I could move.
What's your movement speed as a tree person?
It's normal.
You're attached to the ground, man!
So long as the vines move with me.
Advantage on deck save.
I've just got really long feet.
Okay, Ent. What's the Ent doing?
Could I target a lightning bolt so it lines up with the mangler in front of me and either the Hulk or the seer?
Yes, either one is your choice.
I'm going to test the seer, so I'm going to line it up so that's between the mangler and the seer.
Lovely. They
So-
are both making dexterity saving throws.
Correct.
17. And a 3.
And that will fail.
Well, technically a 1.
10.
Now you roll a fuck ton of dice as you summon lightning out of your hand. Describe how that looks and works.
36. Hold on.
Sorry.
So I'm still grabbing him with one hand.
Yes.
Hand up, and it charges with a fungus grows,
Mhm.
struck by lightning, and charges. and
Excellent.
sends the mushroom forward as the anchoring point. And in the line, 41 points of lightning damage.
Poured 41.
Yes.
The mangler you are holding twitches, lightning coursing through it, and you realize you've punched a hole directly through its midriff, and it just gurgles in your arm, in your tree-like vine arm, and collapses there, now a corpse. The lightning bolt ricochets across the plaza towards where the seer is running, and where it would impact it, it turns, looks, and again, this strange non-Euclidean feature, it regains it on its turn, sorry. Its strange non-Euclidean feature of the landscape means it suddenly is not there, and the grue that was running above it, which it swaps places with, just explodes as it keeps going,
Well, at
running
least-
up towards the door.
At least I know that now.
Yep, once on a turn.
I love it. So the mangler got killed by a mushroom cap.
The mango. Yes, it did. Lovely. Barksby, that is your turn. You have movement if you want to take it, and apparently you can move in tree form.
Start stomping up with my big clown feet. 15 foot of clown feet.
As you slowly make your way forward, you and Arted are now. There is a mangler running away from Arted at this point, but the Hulk is still there and is very much looking to deal with the two of you on its next
I'll start
turn.
moving towards the
You
Hulk.
move with Hulk. Lovely. Okay. Arted, what are you up to? Your new ally, in quotation marks, is now falling from 60 feet up straight down towards the ground. What would you like to do?
Don't worry, it's fine.
Yeah, I'll use my paladin magic to.
Use my paladin plus one biceps.
I command her to stop falling.
You're a paladin. You can heal things, supposedly.
Not when they're 70 feet in the air, I can't.
60.
They were 10 feet
Oh, yeah,
up
70, right.
already.
10 feet already.
Yes.
That's damage dice. That's fine with me.
Takes an extra round to hit the ground, though.
Does it?
10 foot per second, isn't it? 60 feet of falling.
Interesting. I've never worked it that way. Just thought they hit the ground normally.
Typical DM.
You DM as well. You knew this was.
So the Hulk is advancing on me, the other one is running away from me.
Correct. The Hulk still has a halfling on its leg. Actually, sorry, the Hulk isn't advancing at all. The Hulk is stunned.
Oh, yeah.
It's there. It's imposing and gigantic. It's not moving, though. As the halfling is on its leg going...
Take that, yeah.
I will point with my maul at it, and I will sing this kind of weird, dissonant, kind of
Whisper.
slight melody that isn't the same as the one that you remember because it's kind of warped as it
Lovely.
comes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dissonant whispers on the Hulk. Is that psychic damage, perchance?
It must make a wisdom. It will be yes. It must make a wisdom save.
It's immune to psychic.
Roll the damage anyway, please. It's a natural 20.
Would have been 9.
It would have been 9 points of psychic damage. If the Hulk takes psychic damage, each creature within 10 feet of the Hulk takes that damage instead. Kimmy, you take 9 points of psychic damage as the whispers seem to redirect around its head, which appears to not be able to accept thought. And as it redirects, it flows into yours and within 10 feet of it, which is only you at this point. You take 9 points of psychic damage. Even while stunned. Lovely. Right. The Mangler that was running away from you is still running. Most of these Gru are now in fierce retreat. The Hulk cannot take an action on its turn, so that is the Mangler's turn and the other Gru's turn. Done. Ezzy, you fall. I could roll the damage, there's really no point because you're just going to fail a death saving throw by hitting the ground hard.
So we're not doing that, I get 2 rounds of falling.
No, just one.
Fine.
You fall, and next to you, Arted, as you do this, there is a very loud crunch as your UNT companion falls next to you, right next to you, in fact, and lands with a sickening crunch, failing 1 death saving throw. It is now your turn, Ezzy, so you have to roll to see if you make it.
Yes.
Cool. 1 failure, 1 success so far. You are unconscious, but not dead. Probably very badly broken bones from that fall. Actually, do snakes have brittle bones or very hard bones? I can't remember.
They have brittle.
Very soft bones. Okay, probably not very many broken
It says
bones.
brittle, so he's the druid.
They have malleable.
In real life, he's a biologist, so you know.
Ribcage.
A malleable ribcage. Okay, I'm saying that no bones are broken, but you are bruised because snakes don't tend to break bones because they're very malleable bones. Yes, fair, lovely. Nice bit of real-world science in there for you in this ludicrous fantasy setting. There we go.
Don't say we're not educational.
Kimmy, what would you like to do?
I would like to try and get this Hulk to fall over.
It is currently no longer stunned. It has managed to shake that effect off, but you could try and not. I mean, it's huge. By D&D terms, huge. So knocking it over will be relatively difficult.
Alright, I'm going to still try and attack the knees though.
Okay. You've currently hit where it's currently sort of because you're just got a tiny halfling running around its knees. You can keep attacking one leg. If you focus all your attacks on one leg, we'll see what happens.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Thank you.
Let's go. 10.
Your quarterstaff bounces off. I'm going to repeat myself.
Okay. 13 plus 6.
Yes, the quarterstaff digs in and manages to pop the kneecap out. Thanks. Would you want this to make this a stunning strike? It doesn't cost any extra actions. It's just something you can do on your turn for a key point.
Yeah, let's do that. That seems to be a handy thing.
Cool.
Stunned.
It rolled a 19. It is not stunned,
Give it a go.
but you have popped out his kneecap.
So that is 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Thank you. You also have a third unarmed strike and a fourth if you want to use flurry of blows.
I am gonna just kick it.
Just going to kick it. If you pull the kneecap off and then do a sort of heel into where the knee used to be, you're going straight into the nerve.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a good plan.
Which would make it fall over, like you wanted this.
I'm happy with that. Natural 20.
Yes!
The heel goes thudding in below where the kneecap was. There is an awful, outraged scream from the creature. Roll the damage on that.
So that one is 5.
5 points of damage, but I'm going to double it.
Yeah, double the dice roll then.
Yes, so 7. Roll a 1. Yeah, and it's clutching at its knee, howling in pain, falls down. It is not prone, it is just down on one knee, so it has landed and it looks like it's severely, severely hurt by all of the ministrations you are giving it. It does not look happy. The seer running away, seeing this effect on the Hulk, is going to have one last action before it disappears towards the gate and you don't see it anymore. Because remember what happens with psychic damage on a Hulk?
Oh, dear.
It uses Psychic Orb. 2 orbs of psychic energy blast out of its hands as it turns back. It fires them both towards the Hulk. It does have to hit the Hulk for this to work. It gets a plus 11 to hit.
That would be really embarrassing.
It has a range of 120 feet from the Psychic Orb, I'm afraid. That is an armor class of 16, so that's a 5 or more to hit. Both psychic orbs blast into the Hulk, not affecting it at all as the energy is redirected around it, all into you, Kimmy. That is 10d10. Oh.
This is not going well.
Oh, dear.
Look at that face.
Almost like I planned it. 13, 21, 29 and 2 is 31. 41, 45, 52, plus 9 is 61, 65. 65 points of psychic damage as your psyche is torn around you. I'm presuming you are unconscious.
Yes, very much so.
The monk falls unconscious off the Hulk, still squealing as it kneels down, this psychic energy radiating around it as the seer runs over the lip of the hill and can no longer be seen, ironically. Right, Buxby. There are 2 unconscious allies lying on the ground. The remainder of the rebellion forces are dealing with and mopping up the remainder of these forces around you. The Hulk is still there, however.
God damn it.
What would you like to do?
Which one of them is closer?
Kimmy is quite close to you as you walk towards the Hulk.
Okay. I will walk over to Kimmy and administer a Cure Wounds at 4th level.
At 4th level, yes. Okay. While that is happening, Ted.
I will reach down to Edsy, who is next to me, and I will lay on hands. And I will pump in probably about
21 points.
21 points of healing.
20 points of healing.
20 points of healing for you. Splendid. Thank you very much, both of you. Both of you are revived and back in the initiative order as the Hulk rears up, now alone, frustrated at the fact that it's now going to walk a bit more slowly. Buxby, you and Kimmy are both around it. It's going to use an ability called Reaping Arms. It makes separate slam attacks against each creature within 10 feet of it.
Oh boy.
It's going to hit. So that is a 19 and a 17.
Have I got?
You have an armor class of 20, technically, Kensei. The arm comes slamming down towards you, and even though you just wake up, you use your quarterstaff to, as a pole arm, just to bounce off and around this ability as the arm slams down next to you and does no damage to you. What is your armor class as the 14. You are hit by this. You take 2d8, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, which have advantage on in true form.
I don't have advantage on it, that's only on attacks, but I did roll that to 20.
Yes!
You are not knocked prone. Your roots holding you tight as this fist slams into you for 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage?
Yup. The Hulk is still standing. Ezzy, it is your turn. Now you've been revived by the paladin next to you. The healing magic courses through you and you are awake. You can see this Hulk there in front of you.
She wakes up hissing. How far away is the Hulk?
About 30 feet from you. Not even that, 20.
How damaged does it look?
Relatively. Not bloody, but relatively. There are allies around.
If I lightning bolt, am I going to hit someone else?
No.
Do it.
Cool.
So, stand up. Flicks out her tongue.
And you fire the lightning bolt. It did make its saving throw, so I'm afraid it takes half damage from this. All the maths. The best bit of D&D. 20 points of damage. A lightning bolt crackles through the Hulk, hurting it considerably, and it can't so much shriek as bellow, and it is slowly being blasted apart by all of you at this point. Barks, what would you like to do?
I'm 10 feet up in the air again.
Correct. I always assume.
Just gonna put it out there. I love the power moves, by the way.
Thank you. I recognise it from somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting struck.
The Hulk in front of you now looks like it is bleeding. Bloodied.
Bloodied. Oh,
Bloodied.
Wonderful, wonderful. I will get another lightning mushroom.
So you're also lightning bolting it. Great,
Yeah.
go for it. It makes a dexterity saving throw. It rolls a not very high. Yep, failed. 6. Make sure you're marking off your spell slots. We are not done after this fight.
Nice.
27.
Yeah.
That it?
I rolled a lot of ones.
All right. A lightning bolt crackles out and seems to sort of wing it. Kimmy, what would you like to do?
Mine was worse than that.
Yeah, but you halved, you didn't halve.
No, that wasn't half. That was...
Oh.
Yeah. No, I rolled 20.
That's right. Adding it all together. Again, maths. Go on.
I'm gonna try and climb up him again.
Cool. You climb. You can easily, because it is now done, and we've established it has handholds. You can easily climb up and be attacking its back or its head.
I want to attack its head.
Cool. Run straight for that head and use your quarterstaff.
Yep. In the face.
In the face.
So that is 16.
That hits.
Oh, okay.
Actually, roll your quarterstaff and your punch and do this. Do them all in one.
Pardon?
Roll all the attack rolls, because
Okay.
monks you have to roll a lot of attack rolls.
And then 17.
That hits as well.
And then 16.
Yes, your strikes all as you run up to its face, looking up at you. You just smack into it, punching it in the head. Any of these can be stunning strikes if you like, or you can hit it a 4th time using a key point for a flurry of blows.
Yeah, a flurry of blows.
Cool, you
Seems
get
to
a-
be going well now.
Thank you. You have a 4th hit.
That is 18.
Yep. Roll 2 unarmed strikes, and 2 of your quarterstaffs do add on all of the modifiers each time. So it's
Okay.
automatic 12 points of damage for whatever you roll.
That is 12 on the first,
12 on the first. Crunch.
8 on the next,
Another punch across the face. Crunch is looking very bad.
then 5,
5. It's looking awful. 1 more.
and then 9.
9. Oh, so close. It's reeling, not quite down, so close to death, but very clearly not happy with the situation in front of it. Arted.
Arted walks up to
Yeah.
it, and it
I mean,
goes-
forgive me for this, but I do want to say it. Finish him.
He looks at the mangled monk knee,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Oh, that looks painful." And he casts Inflict Wound.
Oh! Oh no! What do I roll?
Uh,
I think it's this one.
I make a melee spell attack.
Okay, I'm not even here.
18.
Yeah, you touch its knee.
A gentle caress of the knee.
And it takes 22 points of necrotic damage.
If you'll allow me, you reach out and say, "That looks painful," and horrible necrotic energy just pours through this creature. It bellows awfully as it starts to melt its skin and everything within it, melting off its bone as necrotic energy just infuses it with death and decay, and it just collapses in front of you. Well done, there are no more enemies. You have vanquished this group. You can see above you the last door of the ziggurat, the final bastion, up some stairs and a gigantic door ahead of you, while the remainder of the rebellion behind you are mopping up. What would the four of you like to do?
I just assume I've done a cool flip off the hole before it falls down, right?
Let's see. I think, does it collapse underneath you? It does, but because you're a monk, you can run down its ribcage. There's a Naruto runs where you're running on water, but not quite. And then down at the bottom. The four of you are at the vanguard of this. The mopping up is happening behind you. What would the four of you like to do? We're out of it.
I know that we should go on, but I really feel like I could do with a sit down first.
I think
Time to sit down.
I think if we don't sit down, we die.
Around you, the various forces who are fighting, Harvey shouting from above goes, Scottish, hang on, G. Go on ahead! Who knows what they've got behind that door?
That's what I'm worried about.
what?
Do I know what's
Who knows
behind-
what's behind it? If they can escape, it's even worse.
Do I know what's behind that door?
You have been inside there, and you know what they were building because you were part of the cult. Roll a history check. It's a low DC.
Oh boy.
17.
Behind that door is the central bastion of the cult, where they keep all of their materials and everything there as well. What they were building when you were discovered to not be that fussed about Cthulhu or anything that's going on with him is a portal. The cult have beforehand used portals in space and time to escape situations. Oh yeah, there's time travel in this one. Look at that face.
He's just said who knows what's behind that door.
Yep.
I know what's behind that door.
What's behind the door?
What the GM just
What
said.
Chris just described.
Who's Chris?
No. Some sort of energy that takes you between worlds, times, places.
Yeah, I don't think we have time to rest. Then, if they're going to another world, we need to get them as quickly as we can.
What do you all think?
I mean, but if they're going to a different world, they will no longer be in this world.
They'll come back.
We could rest until they come back.
I don't think that's a good idea. They could rest for longer if it's anything like the other bullshit that's been happening back there.
Does anyone have any way to help with, the hit point situation? Just feeling quite, sore.
Paladin says nothing.
I'm gonna regret
You're not
this.
dead, are you?
I would like to cast in the center of the courtyard with
Yes.
all our forces
Yes.
a 5th level healing spirit.
Splendid.
So anybody in the area will get 4d6 of damage each turn. Healed.
Healed each turn.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a very powerful spell. So you all regain 4d6 hit points. Roll them individually. Let's all wait for that to happen.
13?
Yep.
You may wait here for a couple of rounds to regain even more hit points before you move
It's
on.
only 6 seconds.
It's only 6 seconds.
And I little.
It's alright. He wastes his 5th level spell slot. I'm happy.
I'm here to hold the rebellion that's been harmed.
Yeah,
before,
and
so-
there are rebels around you cheering as they are healed and
Just
dealing with this.
Just one more?
Oh dear.
I'm at full.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's not the healing that is my problem. It is the fact that they have one spell slot left.
Yeah, well.
Arthur turns away from the rest of the crowd and he stares at the geometry around him.
Mhm.
And he says, in his mind,
Yes.
"Where do you want me?"
Stay with the vanguard.
I am. Where do you want them?
Let's see what they do. I'm intrigued.
Do I notice that?
Roll an insight check. An insight check. Nope.
Why are you wearing cultist robes, by the way? I never asked.
They captured me. They made me do what they wanted.
Roll a deception check.
22.
That's so awful. Anybody following the numbers? That's a 13 I rolled.
Yeah, I didn't do any
You
better.
don't all get to roll.
Terrible.
You don't all get to roll. It wouldn't have counted.
But,
Right.
but I saw some of what they've done, so I know.
Well, I believe it's time for us to do what we were meant to do. Let's go through that door and meet fate, if that has any meaning anymore.
You all move ahead towards the stairs that lead up to the top of the ziggurat. As you step forward, you see in front of you another plaza-style pavilion. It's about 100 feet long. And as you step forward, this gigantic door, at least 50 feet tall, if not more, and about 30 feet wide in front of you, covered in eldritch signage, Cthulhu imagery. It is all there, all in front of you. As you step towards it, when you reach about 100 feet towards the door, as you step just across the 100 feet mark, you all note that the ground here, in 100-foot curved rectangle before the door, has no detritus on it. There are these skeletons and sand and mess all over the floor, but this area in front of it is clear. And as you all nearly step towards it, you feel a sort of tugging, pulling towards the door, and all step back. If you'll allow me, it's all right. Kimmy reaches down and picks up a bow or similar, raises it and holds it in the space and lets go, and it falls, as if falling straight down towards the door, and shatters on the front of it, 100 feet straight down. This is not a normal door. Oh boy. And that is where we end this hour of Adventurers Wanted. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Lovely. If you'd like to know what happens next, we are playing 2 more hours today, and the next 2 hours involve sound effects. Yay. So we will have that for you if you decide to join us for the rest of the day. If not, thank you so much for being here. It is only £5 to be in the audience, as you know. It is also only £5 to play at the table. Both Jamie and Emma bought player tickets for this hour. They are currently sold out, I'll be very honest, but there are always returns available. There are sometimes returns available, as tickets sometimes become available last minute. So if you are interested, if you fancy watching an hour and could play if you so choose to, that seems to work out very well for people, if that would be of interest. Also, if you are at all interested in how we operate, Adventurers Wanted has a Patreon online where we talk about what we do. We're trying to run more free play events and accessibility events about D&D, trying to expand what some would describe as a D&D monoculture and try and get more people introduced to the hobby. So if that is of interest to you, please help us do so. There's a Patreon where you can donate to what we do, or a donate button on the website if you fancy giving us a one-off bit of help. That would be greatly appreciated. Please do spread the word about the show. We're on Twitter, Facebook, face-to-face with other people is also a good way to do that if it is your sort of thing. Twitter is Adventurers250, where our stage manager, Nemo, has been live tweeting this show for the past hour. And Nemo and Naomi, our other stage manager, are live tweeting the entire adventure, so you can also sort of read it back like an interactive novel with GIFs and memes and that sort of thing. So that's there for you if you fancy it. Or every single hour is available at twitch.tv/adventurerswanted. At the moment, we're about to start running out of free Twitch time because it's been over 2 weeks, but those videos will go onto YouTube by beginning of next month. So you may have to catch back up, if you will, but the Twitter's a good place to keep going. Before we go, I want to say thank you to my 4 lovely players joining me this hour, and I would like to ask them all to pitch or plug something they are working on, either at the Fringe, if you've got any more shows you may want to go and see, perhaps, or stuff in their home lives that may be of interest to a D&D heavy crowd. Far away.
Hey, so I play with adventurers in London, so if you're in London, you should come catch Omen. Regular once-a-month show. I'm also about to start a Curse of Strahd live play podcast, so keep an eye on my Twitter, which is Emma R. Sheard, if you're interested in listening to more D&D and more of me being a weird spellcaster.
I'm up here producing 5 shows. The one that you will particularly enjoy if you enjoy this, which it looks like you did, is at 5 o'clock at Assembly Rooms on George Street in Newtown. Providence, The Shadow Over Lovecraft, a comedy horror show about the story of Lovecraft and the stories of Lovecraft.
It's very good. Highly recommended. At one point, there's a Skyrim joke. You look like a crowd that would enjoy a Skyrim joke. Go.
All I have to say is I'm a sign language interpreter, so anyone needs some sign language interpreted or anything interpreted into sign language, then yeah.
Yes, Isla does live interpret this game 1 hour a day, and it is rather impressive to see someone improvise live D&D, which a lot of the terminology doesn't exist in BSL, so yes,
Fun.
it is very fun to watch as well.
I'm an Edinburgh resident, and some shows that I might be able to recommend to you is The Dark Room and Sweaty Sexy Party, which is all run by John Robertson. They are wonderful, a riot, dark, humorous. At one point he crowdsurfs during Sexy Sweaty Party, so if that's your style.
Is he wearing the weird, like, tube outfit when he does that? The black thing with the
at
tubes?
Sexy Party he wears a full suit.
Ah, it's a shame. For
But
Darkroom, he wears a
Dark
very
Room,
cool
it's
tube
a
outfit.
wonderful, like, American football spiked glowy thing with the Xbox control strip.
That's it, yeah. Very, very games friendly if that's your bag, which I assume it is. Yeah, there we go.
He's also making an actual video game of The Dark Room now.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Fascinating. Look out for that online, I think. Free promo for you there, John. Right. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you're joining us for the next hour, we look forward to seeing you again. And if you're not, we hope you enjoy the rest of your Fringe. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.